Hello, everybody. Welcome to OpenCV Live, which is the new name because we are not doing it weekly anymore. I want to start this episode with a very sad news. I'm pretty certain that a lot of you have already heard this news about Brandon Gillis passing away. He is the creator of OpenCV AI Kit, Oak and Oak D, and he was the CEO of Luxonis for the longest time. And unfortunately, because of illness that he's been ill for the last several months, and he's been fighting, really courageously for the last several months. And unfortunately, he passed away a few days back. And I cannot tell you how shocking it was for me because Brandon and I have worked together for a long time on OpenCV AI Kit. And it has been one of the most rewarding partnerships that I have experienced personally. He was a great innovator. He had the drive that I have rarely seen people like him. I was just shocked how thoughtful he was, how creative he was, and as an executive, who executes and gets things done. He was just out there. It was just phenomenal working with him. And I have two stories from my association with Brandon that I'd like to share today. The first one was the very first time I talked to Brandon was right after Luxonis did a crowd supply campaign for their product. They called it Mega AI. And I was thinking that this product was amazing. It had all the qualities. It was a smart camera that did processing on the device itself. And I was very impressed with how the device worked. And it was actually better than what Intel had produced with their own chip. And so I reached out to him. And the crowd supply campaign, I was thinking that this should be a huge success. Unfortunately, that crowd supply campaign raised about $35,000. And I reached out to Brandon and I said that, look, this is not what the product deserves. This should have been a $1 million campaign. So let's work together and see how we can promote this and make a new brand, OpenCV AI Kit. And he immediately got it, right? A lot of founders, they are not very comfortable with partnerships where they have to put some other name on their devices. But Brandon wanted to get this in the hands of as many people as possible, and he immediately agreed, right? But I was not sure whether he got this vision that okay, we can actually have a $1 million campaign. So after a few days, when I talked to him, I said that okay, I think we should be doing a $1.2 million campaign. And he agreed. He said that I had zero doubt in my mind that we would be able to do $1 million campaign. So you're basically preaching to the choir. And we ended up doing a $1.35 million campaign for Oak D. And this was the biggest Kickstarter campaign for any smart camera ever. In fact, we narrowly beat Occipital, our friends at Occipital. And it was a great partnership. The very next year, we did a Kickstarter campaign for Oak D Lite, which was also a $1 million campaign. And we did OpenCV AI competition together, where 1,400 people participated in the competition. Teams participated in the competition. It was just amazing. Whatever we touched, Brandon and I did together. And of course, Phil was involved in all of these things, and many people were involved. But wherever we worked together, we just saw a lot of success, right? And I just cannot thank Brandon. He was the driving force behind a lot of these things. So I cannot thank him enough for what he was able to build in the short period of time. The second story is about the delivery of Oak D Lite. This was in the middle of the pandemic. And I was really concerned that because the supply chain was disrupted so badly that we are going to miss deadlines, right? Because all other hardware Kickstarters, they were delayed by a year. Many of them were delayed by a year because they could not find parts. So I had this, I got very nervous, called Brandon. I said that, look, we cannot miss the deadlines. Tell me that you have a plan in place. And he said that, yeah, we are going to deliver 4 months in advance. What happened was that he had foreseen some of these problems, and Laxanis, under his leadership, had designed 6 different variants of Oak Delight, all of which performed exactly the same, but they had different components. And that is how the supply chain did not affect the delivery of Oak Delight. And it was a few months in advance it was delivered. So amazing person. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know how to repair this loss. It's a great loss for the industry. And as a collaborator, I cannot tell you how devastating it is.
Yeah, same for me. Brandon and I worked really closely on all the things you just talked about, and the first thing we worked on was that mega AI campaign. And I was always really impressed with and respected his vision, his ability to execute, like you said. He and I, sparred sometimes, but for the most part, they were always good kinds of disagreements. And he was such a thoughtful guy that was really, really passionate about this stuff. And it came from a very real place of wanting to improve the world with this amazing technology we have. And, I think the best thing we can do is to continue that vision. And one of the ways we're doing that is with continuing OpenCV AI competition and things like that. There's also a document that I've shared in the Zoom chat here for folks that if you want to help out his family, his wife Brianna and their 2 children. It's an absolutely devastating loss for them, of course. And I just want to share my condolences and heartfelt appreciation for someone who was extremely important in my career. I would not be with OpenCV if not for Brandon. And so thank you, Brandon. But with that out of the way, shall we get on with the show? Moment of silence in the chat, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us as we get the emotional stuff out up front. Satya, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about OpenCV University as well as OpenCV AI competition. So a lot of folks, we launched OpenCV University back in June at CVPR, and a lot of people had questions about it. So I just thought that it would be a good idea to clarify what it is and where we are going with it. And then we'll talk about OpenCV AI competition. The deadline, it is a 2-part competition. First, we have an initial proposal, and that deadline is August
31.
August 31st. And Phil will talk in greater detail about that. So let's start with OpenCV.
Before we go into that, though, we gotta do this upright. Let me get the vibes back. I am your co-host with the co-most, the second banana who is second to none. I'm also your +1 and only. With apologies to Janet, it's Mr. Nelson, if you're nasty, but you can call me Phil. And I'm going to remind you of a couple things we do on every episode of OpenCV Live. The first of which is a giveaway to you in the audience. Stick around. Later, I will be asking a trivia question based on the slides from the presentation we're doing here today, and you will have the chance to win the OpenCV course of your choosing. You can see what courses are available by going to opencv.org/university and checking those out. We're also taking questions from you in the audience, which we will answer directly. So please use the Zoom Q&A button to ask your question, or if you're watching somewhere else, post your question in the comments or chat section, and we'll do our best to flow it into conversation as time permits. We got a couple more bits of business before we get started proper here. We should talk a little bit about some big news with new OpenCV members. Would you like to briefly talk about that?
Yeah, so OpenCV, a lot of people don't know, OpenCV, how OpenCV is funded. Obviously, OpenCV University, the revenue it generates, it helps support the library. We have OpenCV.ai, which is the consulting arm of OpenCV. And part of the revenue that it generates goes to support OpenCV library. And then we have funding from large corporations which usually join OpenCV as gold members. And Intel, Google, Microsoft, FutureWay, Huawei, they are the current gold members. They help OpenCV with the funding. We also had a second tier of membership called silver membership, and companies like RoboFlow and RunPod, they are, also Hackster, they are our silver members. So they give us, they provide either financial support or support in kind through other things, which is about equivalent of about $30,000 a year. And then we have another level we just added because we want support from people, but we just don't want to confine ourselves to well-funded startups or large corporations. A lot of companies had approached us. They wanted to contribute, but they did not have the financial resources to contribute at the silver or gold level. So we recently introduced the bronze membership. And this is a membership this is, again, a donation program, just like the other two programs, where companies can donate about $6,000 a year and have their name listed as a donor to OpenCV on the website. And there are some other benefits as well. Now, I really like this membership because part of the reason we started it is one of our students at OpenCV University, his name is Jose Benitez. He, in 2021, he took one of our courses, and I'll go through his story. And long story short, I'll go through his story in a little bit, but he was able to start a company based on some of the things that he learned, and he was able to raise $7.8 million. He was also MIT's top 35 innovators from Latin America in 2022. And his company, Intuitivo, they decided to donate at the bronze membership level. So this is a great story because somebody who benefited from OpenCV and OpenCV University decides to pay back, right? So amazing story. And that is one of the reasons that we created this new level of membership at $6,000 a year. So if your company is interested in bronze membership, silver membership, or even gold membership, please reach out to us you can reach out to us at newsletter@opencv.org, and we will route it to the right people. But we really need your help. We need help from the community. And I want to reach out to a larger group of people because I just don't want OpenCV to rely on a small set of large companies, right? That way it would be truly democratic. We also have plans, not 100% finalized, but we also have plans to do a Kickstarter campaign for OpenCV 5 because of several reasons. OpenCV 5 has been delayed. Major part of it is funding reasons that OpenCV 5 has been delayed. And I just want to give it a bump by doing a Kickstarter campaign where people can contribute, and we will have OpenCV 5 ready. And if this Kickstarter campaign is successful, then we can do these kinds of campaigns every year. And that way we can get a lot of community feedback. Also, what are the kinds of features they want in OpenCV, and we will implement those features instead of a small group of companies and industry experts deciding what should go into the library. So that's about the membership program. We'll promote it and explain it in more detail in the coming weeks. But that's something that we recently started.
We've also got one more bronze member to announce. Our friends at the Drone Code Foundation, creators of the PX4 autopilot software, have signed on as bronze members of OpenCV as well. And we will be appearing at their developer summit October 21st and 22nd. Thanks so much to PX4 Drone Code in New Orleans. I'm really looking forward to going to New Orleans. Never been there before. And we'll have a booth there. So if you're going to PX4 Developer Summit, you'll see us there. If you're not yet, I just dropped the link in there. This happens directly after ROSCON, which is also in New Orleans this year. Shout out to our friends at RossCon. Thanks so much to our new bronze members. If you're interested in becoming a member of OpenCV and supporting the library directly with a donation, as Satya said, the best thing to do would be to email newsletter@opencv.org, and we'll get the ball rolling that way. There's one more thing on the event side here. OpenCV is also going to be participating in the Berkeley World of Data Career Fair, which is September, I gotta look it up now, sorry. Sometime in September. I'll have to add it into the show notes. This is being hosted by the Student Association for Applied Statistics, Data Science Society, and Big Data at Berkeley. If you're local here in the Bay Area, come see us there. It should be a really fun event. We'll have stickers and buttons and stuff like that. Those are always a big draw at these shows. So get yourself some exclusive OpenCV swag by coming to the Berkeley World of Data Career Fair. There's also one more note from OpenCV.ai, a couple of notes actually, some really exciting news from the consulting arm of OpenCV, the first of which is Sportforma, which is this new 3D pose database, 3D pose data set. Satya, you'd like to give the folks a little bit of insight on that?
Yeah, so it's when you think about pose estimation, the most important thing is getting the data for pose estimation, and it's not always possible to get a lot of data because, first of all, 3D data is extremely difficult to capture, right? And the second thing is that you may not, for sports, different poses, etc., they are not regular human poses, right? It is not like a pedestrian walking, which is easy to capture or easy to get off the internet. But sports data, it's very difficult. So we used, generative AI, and it's not just possible to do generative AI, but we also needed other techniques on top of generative AI to create this data set. And it is available for use right now. And Phil, have you shared the? Okay, right there. So
I sure did.
It is already shared, and it is done through another product or website that we have. It's called copycat.co. If you're a regular viewer of this webinar, you would know that we had presented Copycat a few times. Various versions of Copycat for generating new data sets synthetically. So it's under the same umbrella.
Yes, and also on the OpenCV AI side, there is as part of the collaboration with Snap Inc., there's just released a new method to use optical character recognition in Snap lenses. Really awesome to see that collaboration taking shape and stuff coming out of it. I'm a big fan of the Snapchat platform for building stuff. One of my favorite creators on LinkedIn and the other social medias is Brielle Garcia. Absolutely go check out their work. Fucking amazing. Like they do like the recent Ninja Turtles lens was Brielle's work. Brielle's also working on making Superman 64, remaking Superman 64 for the Quest headset, one of the famously bad games. Super fun stuff there. But without further ado, let's talk about OpenCV University.
All right, so let's get started with OpenCV University. How many people, please let me know in the chat, how many people have even heard about OpenCV University?
Yeah, throw your hands up out there.
All right. All right, yes, a few people have learned, but I was surprised when I go to these conferences like CVPR, which I went to in Vancouver, and when I went to Open Source Congress as well, very few people even knew that OpenCV is supported by OpenCV.org, the nonprofit foundation, and even smaller number of people know about OpenCV University. So we have not done a great job in promoting ourselves. So now my next task is to make sure that people understand about OpenCV.org as well as OpenCV University. So basically, it is. Let's start with how we got started, and then you will see where we are going. So it's a place where legacy creates the future, right? We have OpenCV has a OpenCV has this remarkable history that most people know, but not in great detail. For example, right now, OpenCV is downloaded about 1 million times per week, just the Python version. The C++ version, we do not know because GitHub doesn't tell us how many people cloned the repository, etc.
It's actually closer to 1.5 million a week now. I just ran the numbers, actually.
Yeah. So if you look at the C++ version, I'm assuming that it's going to be double of that, right? About 2 to 3 million times per week, right? And about 89% of the embedded vision engineers still use OpenCV as their primary library because it's fast, it is C++ based, and for many applications, this is the right choice. And we also started certified OpenCV courses just a few years back. So a lot of people don't know that Stanley, the first autonomous vehicle, which won the DARPA Grand Challenge in 2005, was powered by OpenCV. It had many other sensors, but the computer vision part was powered by OpenCV. And this is, part of American history now. And Gary Bradsky, who is the founder of OpenCV, was on this team that was, that won the DARPA Grand Challenge. And this was an underdog team. Actually, it was not supposed to win. There was a red team. There were two teams from Carnegie Mellon called the red team. People thought that they are going to win, but they did not. And this team from Stanford actually won the competition. And if you know Udacity, the founder of Udacity, Sebastian Thrun, he was the lead of this project. So great to be part of this history. There are also many NASA projects, etc., where moon landing, all these things were done using OpenCV. We don't get information about them because OpenCV doesn't require you to give any feedback, right? We just say that, okay, here's the library, use it, don't sue us if things don't go well. That's the nature of the Apache 2 license. And before that, we had the BSD license, which also says exactly the same thing.
Unlike a lot of companies with open in their name, we're actually open. I got to remember to say that.
Right. That's right. So the courses team actually started way before, in 2017. This is a team out of a company called Big Vision. I'm the CEO of Big Vision. And that's how I got associated with OpenCV, actually. In 2017, I still run this website, learnopencv.com, where you can go and, read blog posts. And every week we publish one tutorial on computer vision. And at that time, the dominant thing we were writing about was OpenCV. And some people approached me and said that, why don't you create a course for OpenCV? And because we were doing consulting, this was not my primary focus in the beginning. And so I said that, okay, if you actually support me and first buy the course, then I will be able to create the course. If we are unable to raise a certain amount of money, then I'll return all the money. And in 2017, we raised about $68,000 from a pre-sale. And then before the course was launched, we did another sale, and the total amount we raised was about 100K before the course was launched. And that gave me a lot of confidence that, okay, there is a huge demand. People want to learn from us. And we did, we started a partnership with OpenCV back in October 2018. I approached Gary Bradsky and I said that, we can have OpenCV branded courses. Look, we have got such, such interest from people. And he agreed to it. And then we started working on this Kickstarter campaign for OpenCV. The Kickstarter campaign was a massive success. We raised $500,000, nearly $500,000 with the help of about 1,300 backers. And this was the biggest Kickstarter campaign for any technical course ever. And ever since then,
unprecedented success for an educational product like that.
Yeah. And frankly, the OpenCV name had a lot to do with it. Our existing subscribers on Learn OpenCV, they had a lot to do with it. So all the things came together, and we started producing courses. And then we did OpenCV for beginners. We did deep learning with TensorFlow and Keras. And recently we did a Kickstarter campaign for mastering AI art generation. And these were all massive successes, right? Most of them were above, some of them were 250, 280, or nearly $200,000 campaigns. And we just found this very, very rewarding, right? To produce courses for all the things that we were learning in the consulting sphere, we were able to put in these courses. And it is very rewarding to, to educate people. Part of the reason is also that, as a legacy, we want to be thought as people who, when I was in high school, I remember books like Resnick Halliday Walker, where I learned physics from, right? I still remember those authors. And that's the kind of legacy we want to leave. People should remember that they learned all the computer vision they learned, or at least the initial computer vision they learned was from OpenCV University. And that's the kind of legacy we want to leave. And that's why this whole course and university is so close to my heart. And we have spent so much time and effort in building this up. So until now, right, before June 2023, this was the thought process that we will educate people. That was the main goal, which was a fine goal in itself. But things have evolved, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. So what we saw is that people from all around the world, from many different universities, as well as large companies, they had started taking our courses. And some of these companies, they regularly buy packages of our courses for their students. So we were having an impact, and I was pleasantly surprised by how deep this impact was. So here's the journey that I wanted to share with you. As I mentioned before, Jose Benitez was a student of OpenCV University, and he's originally from Paraguay. And he grew up in poverty, and he dropped out of college due to financial hardship. And things were looking pretty bleak for him. He tried to run a small business. It was not quite working out. And fortunately, as luck would have it, Jose got an unexpected call from a small startup based out of Argentina. And they wanted to build the technology to convert display refrigerators into autonomous vending machines. And they learned about Jose through a friend. And Jose took the offer. He had nothing to lose. The only challenge was that he knew that the technology that would convert these display refrigerators into vending machines required computer vision, and he did not know enough computer vision at that time, right? But he took a plunge. With a big dream and $10 in his pocket, he went to Argentina. And the first thing he told his co-founders is that I need to take this course, and that's how he joined the course. And the premise of the company was that vending machines are expensive. I just did a Google search, vending machines, and I tried to look for how much they cost. So this is what the first two results were. So they are very expensive, $6,000, $7,000, and display refrigerators, where you just have a refrigerator with a door, right? So these are very inexpensive, in the less than $1,000 typically. So the idea was that can you actually turn these display refrigerators into a vending machine without a lot of cost, right? And in Latin America, Latin America and even places like India, China, and other places, cost is a very big driving factor, right? So in price-sensitive areas like that, there was a huge demand for technology that could convert a display refrigerator into a vending machine, right? And there are various ways of doing it, right? One can use various sensors to solve this problem. You could do a weight sensor, you could do several other things. The problem is that they require specialized installation, they required calibration, they required maintenance, and all of these add to the cost of the solution, right? But instead, if you use visual sensors, right, this can be done very cheaply, right? So Jose decided that visual sensors, cameras are the way to go. And if you can solve everything using cameras, then the whole thing can be done in, let's say, $500 or so, right? Because all you need is a small compute unit and you need cameras. And the compute unit could actually work with a server in the background. And you can have a very robust solution. It requires no calibration, right? Literally, somebody can go and put the camera in certain ways, and that's all is needed because the AI part is going to be robust enough. So here's a quote from Jose. He took the OpenCV University courses in 2021, and he said that they played a significant role in the choice of algorithms and the quality of autonomous point of purchase product we built. And they raised $7.8 million in 2022. And he says that he highly recommend OpenCV courses, OpenCV University courses for entrepreneurs, students, and professionals. Thank you, Jose. But I want to thank Jose for an even better thing, which I'll come to in just a bit. So in 2022, Jose was selected as the top 35 innovators by MIT Technology Review from Latin America. So that's a huge honor. Exactly 35 people are selected under the age of 35. So it's a huge honor for somebody to get that recognition. And I'm so glad that one of our students was able to accomplish this. But not only that, Jose called me up and he said that he wants to give back to OpenCV because of the contribution OpenCV library and his education at OpenCV University have made. So they joined OpenCV as a bronze member recently, and the name of the company is Intuitivo. And I'm so glad that they could. It's a small startup. Remember this, not many startups do this. So it's just, I'm very grateful and thankful for the donation that they have made. And if your startup, if you have benefited from OpenCV, your company has benefited from OpenCV, and if you think that your manager or you're able to make a decision to donate something to OpenCV, we would be very thankful for that.
Those donations are tax deductible, folks.
That's right. Because OpenCV, at least in the US, OpenCV is a nonprofit. And all the donation actually goes in the maintenance of the library and for creating these kinds of events, the webinars, etc. I personally, in fact, the management in OpenCV, none of them get paid. I was supposed to get paid $1 per year, and Gary did send me a check for $1 the first year. He's been delinquent on subsequent checks. He has not sent me any other checks. So I just have one check for $1.
That guy owes you like $3 now.
Oh, it's a ripoff. He's getting my services for $1 when he should have paid $3 for it.
I mean, with interest, it's probably something like $3.50 now.
That's right. And inflation, you have to adjust for inflation.
Cost of living, yeah.
All right. So the university provides computer vision, deep learning, and AI courses, and each course it's designed for practitioners, right? So we make sure that you understand the topic, not just from a theoretical point of view, but from a practical point of view. So you have to do, in addition to learning the material, you have to do projects, assignments, you have to do, we go over code with explanation. So every module has many Jupyter notebooks where we go over the code, explain the code, but sometimes in the assignments, you also have to modify the Jupyter notebook to get the desired results. In addition, you take these courses at your own pace. There are video-based instructions. There are three kinds of instructions, which I'll come to in a bit. And the best part is that we also have a course forum where you can ask any question, and one of our instructors would answer within 24 hours. And one other feature that people use the courses for, a lot of people don't use the courses as courses, they use it as books. So that's why we have lifetime access to the material. It's not like, oh, in 6 months, the course is over and now you don't have access to the material you learned. So you have lifetime access to the material. And I'll come to other, and also if if the course gets upgraded, because the material gets stale after some time, we provide free upgrade to our courses. Eventually we will have to move on to a next version of the course, but at least for 1 year, 1.5 year, you get free upgrades to the course. Whatever we keep adding, they are free for the users.
Yeah, I love that we're, with so many services, basically every service becoming a subscription. I love that with this, you buy it and you have access to it.
Yeah, and it's also not like a regular course. There are online labs where you can submit the assignment, you can do all the work. It's not like you have to download the code. You can do everything in the browser itself to try out the material, right? And in the end, you get official OpenCV certificates, and there are 2 levels of certificate. If you get above 78%, then you get the certificate of excellence. Otherwise, you get certificate of completion. And we don't care how many attempts you take to finish the work. The most important thing for us is that you learn and you demonstrate that you have learned something. It doesn't matter, how much time you're taking to complete the course.
This is all about being practical. It's not about necessarily even about the certificate. It's about the knowledge that you now have.
Right. And, more than 15,000 learners have benefited from our paid courses. And the demographic is spread across, multiple kinds of people. It's not listed here, but most of the people who join our courses are actually software engineers who are looking for a career change. Then we have students, and then we have entrepreneurs, right? So there's a mix, but the dominant one is people who want a new career in computer vision and AI, and maybe they have implemented something, they have a little bit of understanding of computer vision. They might even have implemented an object detector like YOLO or something, but they know that if they go for a job interview, they will not be hired as an AI engineer because they don't have the breadth of knowledge, and there are massive holes in their understanding of the subject. They can make things work that they get online, but they still cannot be hired. So those are the people who get so that they can have a solid foundation in computer vision and AI in this. The team of engineers, this is just a small team. We actually have a team of 20 people, and these are the faces we have to, we have not put the entire team here, but we have a team of about 20 people who help us create these courses and maintain these courses. Gary Bradsky is obviously the founder of OpenCV, and he gives us a lot of guidance. I'm involved in creating these courses a lot. And Vikas Gupta, who is the course director, he has a background. He's from one of the top universities in India called ISC Bangalore. And he's our course director. We also have Bill Cremidas, who graduated from MIT long time back, and he was in aerospace for the longest time. In fact, he took one of our courses, and he was learning actively in AI, and then he finally decided to do a career switch from aerospace to AI. And we also have Dr. Sunita Naik. She has a PhD in computer vision and AI as well. But
eagle-eyed viewers, longtime viewers will recognize Vikas and Bill from previous episodes of this very program.
Right. And there is, a team of 20 people who help us create and deliver these courses. Unfortunately, we cannot list out everybody's pictures here. We have, several success stories. Thousands of people have benefited from the courses. In fact, the example that I was giving you, where even seasoned AI professionals who want to just remain up to date with the latest technology, they take our courses as reference material. And the great example here is Sanjay Nichani, who was until recently, he was the head of AI at Peloton. He recently decided to do a startup, so he's out of Peloton. But Until recently, he was the head of AI at Peloton. And there are other people who have taken our courses like Seda Fushia, who was very happy with the pace at which we go. Every day, if you spend about 1 hour every day on the course, you will be able to complete these courses in about 3 to 4 months. So these are not short courses. Most of the courses are not very short courses. They are very in-depth foundational courses, and you have to spend the time to do it. But fortunately, we knew that we have to design the courses for working professionals also. So we have split the material in such a way that if you spend 1 hour every day, you will be able to cover substantial portions of it and able to understand various things. The courses are structured in, there are 3 ways of learning. First of all, we give you text material that you can read through, but sometimes it's not enough to just have text. So we have a lot of video content where we explain the concept in terms of in videos. And so it's almost like a revision. When you read something and you see a video with animations, etc., it also helps you understand better. And finally, that's not enough. You have to get your hands dirty with real working code. So we have Jupyter notebooks with code that explains the concept. And then you can also modify the Jupyter notebook and try this yourself. And so those 3 ways, right? There is a repetition of the same concept, but in 3 different forms. You have text, you have video, and then you have code. And that, I feel that solidifies your understanding of the material, because you're repeating the thing as well as learning in a slightly different way.
Switching context, but keeping the same information. Yeah, it locks it in your brain a little better.
Yeah. And then we also have 3 ways to practice, right? We have online labs where we have Jupyter Notebook. You don't have to leave your browser. Everything is in Jupyter Notebooks. You can try whatever Jupyter Notebooks are there online. And you never leave the course platform. You never leave, you don't have to download anything. And then once you practice all these things, we also test how good you are based on assignments. Many of these assignments are automatically graded, but some assignments are manually graded. And finally, we have projects where we give you several projects to choose from, and you have to submit about 2 projects in the 3-4 month course. And what projects do is they help you build a portfolio of projects that you can display to the general public, to prospective employers. And that's crucial in AI. Nobody cares about years of experience in AI, but you have to demonstrate that you have a solid background. And for that, these projects are very important. And we know that, from our personal experience, sometimes it used to happen in school that you get a project that you are not inspired to work on because it just doesn't appeal to you. And that is why we have a collection of projects that people can choose from. We usually give 5 projects or so, and then you can choose 2 of them to complete course requirements. However, the best students who benefit the greatest from this, they do all the projects, and then they put it on their GitHub repository. And so they have something to show their prospective employers what they have done. In addition to that, you can actually download all the code also. So that's very useful. Now, the whole program, which, the collection of all courses is called the CVDL Master Program. It consists of, a Fun Start bundle. We have the traditional computer vision bundle, the deep learning bundle, and finally the applications bundle. And if you look at all the courses that we offer, we have some free courses, which if you have not tried it, I highly recommend you. OpenCV Bootcamp, as well as TensorFlow Bootcamp. We are working on something called a PyTorch Bootcamp also. These are free courses, but they don't have the same level of support as our paid courses have. And these are very short courses, something like 3 to 4 hours. You will be able to get you'll be able to get started, right? So, and we also have a Python programming bootcamp for people who are rusty on Python. This is also free. It's actually not free, but if you just email us, we will give it to you for free. This is usually reserved for people who are taking one of our courses, one of our paid courses. But if you are attending this webinar, you want to do Python for beginners, send us an email and we'll happily enroll you in that.
What email address should they address that to?
Courses@opencv.org. Thanks, Phil. And then we have Mastering OpenCV with Python. This is a short 1-month course. And then we have Fundamentals of Computer Vision and Image Processing. This is a foundational course in computer vision, and it covers many different aspects of computer vision. It has the right mix of theory as well as practice. All our courses, they are applications oriented. We learn a lot of theory, but we also dig deep into applications, and application is the main focus because we wanted to create these courses for practitioners. And when the math becomes very complicated, we decide to, have an intuitive feel of math, but not go into we don't want to drown in technical details. We also have 2 deep learning courses, one for PyTorch and the other for TensorFlow. And these are in-depth courses, right? It will take you a solid 4-5 months to complete, but it is worth it. You will not be able to face a job interview if you don't know the fundamentals logged in, right? There are 3 important aspects, 3 different problems in computer vision that you have to nail if you want to face a job interview, right? And those are image classification, object detection, and segmentation. If you have command over these 3 topics, then I'm 100% certain, or actually, let's say, 95% certain that you land a very lucrative job. And at least in the United States, it's shocking how lucrative these jobs are. If you go and search online, you will see that the entry-level AI engineers make about $126K per year, which is shocking. But
damn good money.
Yeah. And then we have an applications course, computer vision and deep learning applications. And finally, we have a generative AI course, which is a very short course. You can complete it over 7 days. It's a collection of 2 courses. You can finish each course in 3 to 4 days. And this was specifically designed because for people who are interested in AI art generation. But I feel that these courses are so inexpensive that pretty much everybody should take it, and you will be delighted as well as enlightened by the state of AI art generation. It's just mind-blowing. The applications course, the applications course is also it's a solid course where we focus only on applications, not much on theory at all. So there you learn about OCR, you learn about several other applications. And it's mostly about explaining the tools, how they work, etc., and much less about theory. So here's some screenshots from Mastering OpenCV with Python. Again, this one is a short course, and it goes over various OpenCV applications, and it is delivered in Python. Fundamentals of Computer Vision and Image Processing. This is the foundational course, and it is delivered in both C++ and Python. And at least for now, if you buy one of the versions of the course, Python, the C++ version will be free if you choose. And it's very useful, especially OpenCV, because it is used in both C++ and Python. Sometimes you need to use C++ in your application. And in those cases, you can compare the code side by side and see, oh, this is how it is written. It actually helps you quickly get onto the other language if you are familiar with one version of OpenCV. Again, deep learning courses, we cover the foundational, all about deep learning and the 3 fundamental problems in computer vision, which is image classification, object detection, and image segmentation. Plus, we also cover pose estimation, etc. So, and then we have the applications course, as I was saying, several applications, and including OCR. The tools that we cover in these courses, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and OpenCV, obviously, those are the main libraries. In addition, you will also get familiar with Matplotlib. You will start working with Google Colab if you're already not familiar with it, with NumPy, with scikit-learn, and you will understand how to deploy your solutions on AWS, Google Cloud Platform. One of our courses also has a Kaggle competition as a project, and the reason we added that was we wanted to make competing in Kaggle competitions easy for you, right? So that there is this fear usually people have while competing that, oh, there's this competition, how do I get into it? But Kaggle is a community which helps you, right, develop your skills. So it's a very good, useful community, and competition is just part of it. It just makes you become part of the community, but there is so much more to learn from Kaggle. So I highly recommend that, and that's why we give you an option to participate in a Kaggle competition that we have launched. So so these were about the courses. We had these courses before also, but what's the difference between OpenCV University and the courses that we had? Initially, when we were thinking about these courses, we just wanted to educate people, right? Which is pretty, a noble goal. But during COVID, and after that, we had this huge problem with student debt in the United States. A lot of people took university courses and programs that actually did not produce enough income for them to repay the debt back. And it had a profound impact on me because so many people were affected by it, and so many people who have well-paying jobs, they are unable to repay their student debt. It is that bad of a problem. So
I personally have friends that are, in their 40s that are still six figures in debt.
Wow.
It's nuts.
Right. And I personally feel that that's actually not required. Fortunately, at least in AI, you do not need a university education to get a good job. But you need very good skills, right? You have to demonstrate that you have skills. Now, to make that happen, right, you may have the best knowledge, but it is not possible for some people to present themselves properly, right? And that's where our CareerX, which is OpenCV Career Accelerator program, that comes into play. We give you personalized career guidance, and this is in the making, right? It is a program that we just launched, and we are working through all these steps to provide you the service. It's not live yet. So the idea is that we are going to provide personalized career guidance, and we'll have a dedicated student success manager, and it will be free for all the people who have already taken the course. At some point, we will make it paid. But for initially, when we are developing the program, we'll make it free for existing students. But it is also for students who are committed to do something, right? It is not for students who just bought the course. You don't get access to CareerX automatically if you just buy the course. You have to actually finish part of the course before you become eligible for these services. And the reason is that if you don't have the background, if you're not done the basic work, how do we know that you're ready to join the industry? So you have to demonstrate that you have done enough that we will help you in all these various aspects. So things like, when employers these days, they always check your LinkedIn profile. How should the LinkedIn profile look? What are the things that you need to add in your LinkedIn profile so that it becomes useful for somebody who's looking for AI engineers, right? We want to make sure that your GitHub repository is top-notch, right? And for that, when people go and check your GitHub account, they should see a list of projects that you have done. And hopefully those projects are from the courses that you have taken, but you could have done other projects also. But we will help you review those projects and give you guidance, right? For example, simple things like people don't put comments in. And when people are looking at your GitHub repository, it's not enough that you have done the work. You also have to demonstrate that that work is high quality, right? In terms of the readability of the code, the comments that you have produced, the working of the code, etc. So we'll help you with some of that.
To show that you understand it fundamentally is what people are looking for with these hiring processes, which are getting longer and harder based on what I'm hearing from my friends out there.
Right. And we'll also help you in resume review, because a lot of resumes are written even from people who have done great work. They produce such bad resumes. We will talk to some experts and create some good templates for resumes, and we'll which would be pretty good for AI job seekers, right? So that's what we will help you with resume review also. And in the future, we will help with job assistance also, but that's a future goal. We are trying to see whether we can partner with companies, and so that they give us a preference. Somebody who is a graduate from OpenCV University, they get a preference for job assistance. This is not there yet, but this is something that we will pursue. And of course, we will assign a success manager. After you have finished some of our courses, we'll assign a success manager who would help you get these things done. I think I've covered all of these in the previous talk as well, while talking on the previous slide. Yeah, so the GitHub program, and then the resume review and the job assistance. One other thing with job assistance is that we will give you mock tests for qualifying students, right? The people who have done the work sincerely and have achieved a certain level of success. For them, we will do mock tests, and we will also do mock interviews with industry experts, right? And they will get personalized feedback. So that's the future plan. Financial assistance, we are going to, until now, we didn't have this payment plan, but if you send an email to courses@opencv.org and you're interested in a program, we can create installment plans, and that would, without additional cost, right? You'll just pay it over a few monthly installments. We have also added a few other forms of payment especially for countries like India, where we have a presence. We can have other forms of payment. Not every country, but in the United States, obviously, all the credit card, PayPal, etc., work. But in some countries like India, you need to have you used to need an international credit card, but now we are having other forms of payment like UPI, and you can just send us an email at courses@opencv.org, and we'll help you out. So some of these things are not 100% streamlined, so you'll have to send an email. Student scholarship, we have special discounts for students. You'll have to show us an ID card of a college or university and show that you are actually enrolled. And you will also have, we have this challenge for students that if you complete the course in half of the given duration, we'll give you 50% cash back in the form of a voucher, right? You can purchase another course with that cash. So that's for students, and you can, contact us at opencv.org/university, send us an email at courses@opencv.org, and I wish you join the AI revolution. So now I'm ready to take questions about OpenCV University, and we can also do our giveaway, which we do every week.
Yeah, we've got some good questions here, folks. If you want to get your questions in while we're doing our trivia, feel free to post those using the Zoom Q&A button. Satya, go ahead and unshare your screen.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right. So yeah, we're going a little bit long today. Sorry to do the bait and switch. I think we'll do an episode on OpenCV AI competition in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get some other panel guests to discuss. In case you need a reminder, or if this is your first time joining us, one of the things we do on this show every episode is a giveaway to you out there in the Zoom audience. If you're not in Zoom, you can go to opencv.live and join right now, but be quick, because I'm going to ask a trivia question, and the first person to answer that trivia question correctly will win the OpenCV course of their choosing. You can see what courses are available. Most of them are the ones that Satya has already talked about here today at opencv.org/university. Get ready to answer. Again, type your answer in the Zoom chat window. The first person to answer will win. And if you have won in the last couple of months, please do not answer and give someone else the chance to win. So earlier, we went through a little bit of the history of OpenCV courses, and that included the 2019 Kickstarter campaign, which raised $500,000. What was the official title of that Kickstarter campaign? What was the title of the campaign? Farad tried to get me there, but you're just off. No. What was the title of the campaign on the Kickstarter website?
You have to search.
People are just like frantically. Ooh, man, I finally got them. It's been, people are rusty because we've been off for a few weeks. I love it.
Right.
Yet y'all are making me feel smart today.
And then Google search may not immediately.
Because there's been a few. That's right.
What was the name of the Kickstarter campaign on OpenCV?
Wow, people are not getting it.
You stumped them.
The first one, the 2019 Kickstarter campaign.
And hint, it was not done using an OpenCV account because I did not set it up that way.
It was in fact under the name Satya Mallick. Yes. Yep. Hey, there we go. Frank Bettinger, congratulations. The answer we were looking for was AI courses by OpenCV.org. The search skills finally kicked in. I'm disappointed in all of you. That took too long. Congratulations, Frank? Franzik? I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. But you won, and to get your course, please send one email to phil@opencv.org. Congratulations once again. We've got a bunch of good questions here. Mario Bergeron would like to know, longtime viewer, if they've already purchased all of the OpenCV courses previously, yep, what are the primary benefits of OpenCV University to them?
So when we launch CareerX, you will get access to CareerX for free, right? And if you're already, if you're looking for a job, etc., we'll help you in creating the resume at no additional cost, right? For existing students, CareerX would be free, but we are still working through the process. We want to make sure that all the things we put in place, they are top quality. That would be the benefit.
Excellent. A few people have asked about pricing, and that's important because there is currently a sale ongoing and the price is going to go up. Would you like to give people the Iggy on the current pricing for university?
Yeah, so, because of inflation, because we have not raised the price in a while, we are raising the price by 25% in just a couple of days. I think tomorrow evening or tomorrow night, midnight Pacific time is when the prices go up. But we also used to have, a 20% discount for waitlist people who joined the waitlist. And until Friday, we have this deal that you will get the 20% discount. And after this, the price goes up, right, by 25%. So it's a very good deal. Buy it now, and you can lock in the price. Again, you have lifetime access to the course material. You can buy it now and decide to start later, right? So that's the deal. It ends on in a couple of days.
And that's opencv.org/university.
Yeah. One other thing I want to say is that you have 30 days, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And for people who are on this webinar, if you purchase the course, also send us an email that you purchased the course based on the webinar, and you would like to have a book. So Francois Cholet, who is the author of Keras, he has written a book, Deep Learning with Python, and it's a beautiful book. You can have that book, even though on the website you'll not see this. You can just say that on the webinar, you attended OpenCV webinar, and it was promised that you will get a book if you buy the CV Master Bundle, right? So CVML Master Bundle, this is a collection of all courses. And in case you decide to, if you're not happy with the course, if you feel, change your mind or whatever, you can still keep the book, right? The book comes in electronic as well as hard copy, and we'll give you a coupon, which will make both of them available to you. And even if you decide to return the book, we will just, you can keep even if you decide to return the program for whatever reason, like I said, no questions asked, you can keep the book. And this is only for the CVDL Master Bundle, the collection of all courses.
Sweet deal, sweet deal. Thanks for that. A few more people asking about, we've covered most of these with pricing, and we've got one question here about more generally about OpenCV that I'd like to cover because you and I have talked about this a bit. Could you talk a little bit about OpenCV's plans for expansion, say into the fields of generative AI and some of these more like interactive AI type systems?
Right. So one of the things that Gary Bradsky has been working on is, generative AI right now, all of it is trained on images, right? Images that we downloaded from the internet. And that's why when you try to make videos out of them, they flicker and they're not consistent. It's very difficult to make videos out of them. I mean, people are still doing it and they do a reasonable job, but you can see that it is not, the quality is not there. So one technique to solve that problem would be to have a very large data set, a 3D data set, right? But we don't want the data set to be captured as 3D because fortunately, now we have this thing called NERF, which is neural radiance field, where you can capture the appearance of the object from many different viewpoints, right? Take a camera and then you capture it. And you can then create, without actually storing this as 3D data, you can store it as a neural network, right? And once you have done that, all the information required to create 3D point cloud, all the information, it's already in this neural network, right? And it's a very efficient way to store 3D data. And one of the goals OpenCV has, and this is not public information yet, but we are working on it with some interns, is to become the place where people contribute all this 3D data sets, right? And then people who are members, they contribute and they also get to use other people's 3D data sets. And this also sort of solves the problem of one of the problems with current stable diffusion models or all of these generative AI models is that no permission has been taken from the original authors whose work has been kind of stolen, right, in some sense. But our approach would be that, okay, people will certify that they took this data themselves. And so now they are able to, they contribute to this public data set. And because it's 3D data set, it's very likely that, people did it themselves instead of, and we'll also provide tools for them to easily capture this data and share it with the world. And the idea is that then you have this very large collection, 3D dataset collection, and people can build open source or even closed source solutions on top of it, because it would be probably have a similar license as the OpenCV license that you can use it for commercial use, and you just don't sue us, right? So
yes,
that's something.
Please don't sue us,
okay.
Please. We've got another question here about so some folks have asked, they own one course or they own the majority of the courses but don't have one or two. Is there any kind of discounted program for folks that have already purchased, say, 3 or 4 of the courses that were available before OpenCV University?
Right. So send us an email at courses@opencv.org and we will definitely give you a discounted price.
Great. Yeah, we're about 10 minutes past the hour here. Quick update on OpenCV AI competition. Over 800 signups currently on the official Hackster contest page. Head over there to check it out and sign up for yourself. There's quite a few people looking for teams in the official discussion forum and in the OpenCV Slack channel. There's also some teams looking for members. So, maybe if you don't necessarily have like a project in mind, but you still want to participate and have a chance at over $40,000 in prizes from our sponsors, Codis and Seed Studio, and our silver member, Hackster.io. Go sign up. The deadline is August 31st to sign up and start building stuff. We really look forward to what you're going to do this year because it's a wide open contest. The only requirement is that you use OpenCV. So get at it.
And we have received about 809 submissions, right? But unfortunately, we cannot tell you the details of what's inside because it gives, we want to preserve the confidentiality of the teams who have already submitted the proposal.
Mm-hmm. All of our signups. Thanks everybody who've already started. Coming up on September 7th, we will have our dear friend Paul Ramos back to talk about Anomalib, this incredible anomaly detection library, a part of the OpenVino toolkit. Stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about it on the newsletter. We'll have it on LinkedIn and YouTube and all the normal places you get that stuff. I'd like to give a couple of shout outs before we close up the show here today. Shout out to my brother George, who is teaching Algebra 2 at Brandywine this year. He's become a teacher again after taking some years away from that. I'm super proud of you, brother, and I love you. Shout out to Ginger at Hackster for helping us get the competition all set up and ready to go. We'll try to have Ginger back on the show maybe in a few weeks to talk about the competition in advance of the deadline. Any shout outs from you, Satya?
Well, I have this another idea that it's been on my mind for some time, and we may do it. So the idea is that of OpenCV Sunday School. It would be something like, you spend about 3 to 4 hours on a Sunday. This would be a live session where we'll teach you about one specific topic in great detail, right? And after that, we will share all the code and everything necessary to, whatever we have taught, right? And, just to make sure that, because it takes a lot of effort to create a content like that, but that enables us to create cutting edge content without creating a whole course around it. And this would be for people who have already taken our courses. They're at a certain level, but they are looking for extra boost, right? For example, there was the one that I'm thinking right now, we may do at the end of August, is a course, or this Sunday school, right? A short course, 3-4 hours live in one shot, where we will show you how to use OCR, right, to extract information from resumes. So let's say a company like Google, they get 100,000 resumes for a single or a few jobs, right? And they have to sort, they are all in different formats. There is no standard format. Now, if you want to take this unstructured data and create structured data from it, what are the steps you need, right? For example, you need to be able to read the PDF. Some of the PDF would be in image format, so you need to maybe use OCR to get all the information out. And then you can use ChatGPT to create structured data from this. And it's not easy. It's not like, oh, you tell ChatGPT how to do it, and it will just do it, right? And the second thing is that if you look at ChatGPT 4, it is much more expensive than GPT 3.5, right? But if you use the right prompt engineering, you can do the same thing with GPT 3.5, right? And save a lot in cost. So something like that, it is very specific. It's a very specific topic, but it will give you insight into not only using computer vision, but also the latest in, LLMs, etc. So I'm curious to learn how many people would pay something like, $20 for this 4-hour session, right? Let me know in the chat, and then we can say goodbye.
Send an email to newsletter@opencv.org if you're interested in that sort of thing, because It's hard for us to know if people want to do it unless they tell us. So let us know.
Yeah, in fact, the first version, what I plan to do is we will just do it and we'll tell people that, okay, if you're interested, pay this. And then if you don't like it for any reason, you have attended the webinar, you don't like it, we'll refund you. That way we will know the real demand, right?
Yeah, when you tell people they can have their money back, they'll get it back.
They can have their money back, except that they won't get the material. So there is the webinar part where we show live what are the things that need to be done. But after the webinar, we'll also share material, right? The code and everything that you can try yourself, and also transfer this material to our course platform so that people can ask subsequent questions. So
yeah, that sounds awesome.
Those things won't be available to people who get a refund, but they are free to see the webinar.
Yeah, excellent. With that, you want to take us home, Satya?
Yeah, thank you so much. And we will be more regular for the next few weeks. And hopefully, we'll be back to doing weekly webinars. There were a bunch of things that were preventing us from doing these weekly webinars, including funding. So we want to, now things are looking better now. So hopefully we'll be able to do these on a more regular basis. At least we have something for next week, Phil.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, well, OpenCV AI competition. We're going to do a whole episode about that. I'm going to try to get a couple of guests in here from around the community. We'll see if Ginger can join, maybe. Maybe we'll get Anna back in here so people can ask questions and we can kind of pontificate about what makes a good entry and what makes a good proposal and that sort of thing.
All right. So that's all for today. See you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Everybody loves OpenCV. And if you love OpenCV, one of the best things you can do is share this, share the website, encourage people to go sponsor us on GitHub, encourage your boss to consider becoming an OpenCV member organization, even at the bronze level, which is just $6,000 a year, a pittance for all that OpenCV does for the open source community. Take care of yourselves out there and take care of somebody else if you can, and have a great day wherever you may be. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the show. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to tap the little bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. This week's episode was brought to you by OpenCV University, a series of courses and career guidance brought to you by the experts behind OpenCV. Learn more at opencv.org/university.